Hi everyone, this is Vignesh Babu Subramanian from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at UF. I'm going to present the topic Flaw Detection in an IC Chip Layout Design using Pattern Recognition. The existing problem in the semiconductor industry is that the imprinting of the photo masks onto the substrate. VLSI testing is a procedure that is done after the chip fabrication to ensure that there is no possible manufacturing defects in the chip. There are two types of testing. These are called the offline testing and the online testing. Flaws might be present such as random defects, process variations while fabricating a chip. These may also be while the photomask is being generated. These may cause a yield loss and therefore will reduce the time to market value of the chip. Sometimes these flaws may be so devastating and deadly that the entire chip needs to be refabricated. This presents a threatening problem to the semiconductor industry. Continuing on the existing problem, the defects that are caused need to be found out at the earliest possible stage so that the company saves money. There are three types of yield enhancement techniques. The first is the design for manufacturability. The layout design rules while designing the IC should be carefully followed so that the design is improved. The second is the design for yield. The yield is improved by process improvements. The third is the design for diagnosis. The techniques that are used to give proper access to information so that the source or the root cause of the failure is found. Now we look at three formulas, which is the yield formula, the defect level and the fault coverage. The yield formula is that the total number of defect-free ICs to the total number of fabricated ICs. The second defect level is the total number of defective ICs that pass the test to the total number of ICs that pass the test. Third is the fault coverage, which is the total number of detected faults to the total number of possible faults. The yield and fault coverage need to be of a high value and the defect level should be low so that the fabrication of the integrated circuits has a high time to market. Flaw detection is done using many possible approaches, out of which the main one is using an efficient algorithm for the generation of a reduced set, which is called a test set, of input combinations, which is called the test vectors, along with the corresponding responses, which is capable of detecting all possible faults with the fault model under consideration. In this project, we are going to see three different techniques for shape recognition that are used right now. We are going to focus on one of them to base the project on it. The three techniques are discrete singular convolution (DSC), shape recognition using morphological operations, and canny edge detector algorithm. There are many other techniques that are implemented in several industries, but we are taking these three out of them and evaluating it and doing a comparison with it. The canny edge detector algorithm is used here in this project to demonstrate the concept of shape recognition and also solve the problem of detection of the flaws in the VLSI chips that the semiconductor industry is facing right now. Moving on to the first one, discrete singular convolution. To give a brief overview, it uses the DSC edge detector and DSC anti-noise edge detector for detection of the multi-scale edges. That is, the edges that has different scales is called a multi-scale edge. The DSC ED is capable of extracting minute details while the anti-noise detector is very robust against noise. This approach can be easily explained by using a special class of DSC kernel, the DSC kernels of delta type. That is, these DSC kernels were got from the Schwartz class and are very easy to use. In general, a DSC filter was used to allow an anisotropic diffusion operator for restoration of the image from the noise. The DSC approach exhibits the accuracy and precision of a global method of handling very tricky bounding conditions. The theory and algorithm behind it is that it can be easily explained in the context of theory of distributions. We have a T, which is a distribution and singular convolution is explained as present in the screen. We use a singular kernel of the delta type. After smooth approximation, we get a discrete singular convolution which is represented by the equation f alpha of t. Now we have a DSC filter. Shannon's delta kernel corresponds to a family of ideal low-pass filters, each with a different bandwidth. To improve the asymptotic behavior of Shannon's delta kernel in the coordinate representation, a regularized procedure is used and the regularized DSC kernel is shown on the screen. For constructing edge detectors, we consider a one-dimensional nth order DSC kernel and its derivative is a high-pass filter. The equations for forming the DSC-ED and the DSC-ANED is shown on the screen. Now let's look at an example. The image on the left is the output image from a DSC-ED. The smaller value of alpha leads to a narrow band frequency response, and improving the alpha improves the performance of the DSC-ED. On the right, you can see an image output of the DSC-ANED. The high frequency noise has been smoothed out and the image is sharper as it detects at a coarse scale. The DSC is called a fine scale detector. The main idea is to deal with the noise is to take differentiation after a low pass filter convolution. The DSC detector depends on sigma and alpha, whereas the Canny edge detector depends only on sigma. This leads the DSC to give high filtering of noises compared to the others. The edge detection here uses edge magnitude calculation and thresholding. The advantage of the DSC detector is that it can be optimized in terms of an extra parameter called alpha, which plays an important role in frequency selection. It is also better when dealing with images corrupt with color noise. It is very useful for complex multi-scale detection. Some disadvantages is that Canny edge detection uses extended recursive filters, but this uses normal Shannon's ideal low-pass filter. This also involves complex mathematical analysis and is only as good as a Canny detector. The second method is the shape recognition using morphological operations. The overview is that this method can be used to identify different regular geometrical shapes using morphological operations with emphasis on over-segmentation dodging among different objects. The shape recognition approach is based on mathematical formula. There are 4 conditions in which this application is used. The objects must be distinct, they must be touching, overlapping, and it should be contained in the image. Let's look at the method and algorithm. It involves 2 steps. The first is the avoidance of over-segmentation among different objects like rectangle, square, circle using morphological operations. The second is the labeling of the objects after recognition. To look more deep into the over-segmentation avoidance, over-segmentation is avoided and overlapping areas are segmented to extract the boundaries of various objects. For this, the RGB image is got from the user as input, and the RGB, which is a colored image, is converted to a grayscale and then to the binary image. We then invert the image to speed up the operation. Then the morphological operations are implemented so that it produces eroded image and the small radius boundaries are enhanced. The example command for this is shown below. Next is the recognition and labeling of objects. When the objects are being segmented using this approach, the last stage is to identify them. This identification is done using a filtering technique. The properties like sensitivity factor, corners of the objects are used to predict the shape of the object. The mathematical operations using the parameters is done and the matching of these object shape is verified with the preloaded features of the objects in the database. We have a training set where we have all the shapes and numerical and parametric values of all the shapes so that this approach avoids over-segmentation and detects the shapes properly. This is an example of over-segmentation, avoidance and labeling. The first image shows the normal image, the second one has the edge detected output of the image, and the third one has the labeled and properly segmented image output. The images are detected and feature extraction is performed, and the objects are labeled using the present shape recognition algorithm. By extracting the structural information by including the centroid and other geometrical parameters and identification of appropriate name of shape clusters, it automatizes the classification method. The some advantages are the boundary-based technique is used that avoids over-segmentation. It represents sharp features of the objects more clearly. It is fast in processing and needs less computational area. The disadvantage is that it focuses only on the object boundary and it depends on the vast training set that is preloaded into the system. Moving on to the Canny edge detector algorithm. The Canny edge detector is the advanced version of the shape detection technique that we earlier discussed that uses morphological operations. It takes into account the centroid and other parameters to identify and define the shape. The main use of edge detection in general is to greatly reduce the amount of data in an image while preserving the structural properties to be used for further digital image processing. There are 3 criteria for edge detection, which is the detection of edge with low error rate, which means that the detection should accurately catch as many edges shown in the image as possible. The edge point detected from the operator should accurately localize on the center of the edge. A given edge in the image should only be marked once, and where possible, the image noise should not create false edges. The optimization components are detection, localization, and number of responses. The detection is that the probability of detecting real edge points should be maximized, while the probability of falsely detecting non-edge points should be minimized. The localization is that the detected edges should be as close as possible to the real edge. Only one real edge should not result in more than one detected edge. Here we can see an example of edge detection. The edge or contour detection is shown below. Here we have an image of the duck in the water, and on the right we have a edge detected output of the image of the duck. Other than the edges, there is nothing else in the image, and it's pure black. The algorithm has 5 main steps. Smoothing. Smoothing is a process done by applying a Gaussian filter to remove the noise. Any image has noise. The Gaussian kernel that is used depends on the image. The noise in the image may result in fake or wrong edges being detected. This is the first step in the algorithm and is an important one. Gradient finding. The next step is to find the gradients, that is, find where the grayscale intensity changes the most. Then the magnitude of these gradients are calculated either by Euclidean distance or the Manhattan distance. Manhattan distance offers reduced complexity. As the edges might be broad, we also need to find the direction of the edges and store it so that the image edges are detected properly. The direction are found out by using the Sobel operator. The third one is the non-maximum suppression. The purpose of this step is to convert the blurred images in the image of the gradient magnitude to sharp edges. This is carried out by preserving all local maxima in the gradient image and ignoring the others. Next is the double thresholding. The result from the non-maximum suppression is now analyzed using double thresholding. The edges are marked by their strength pixel by pixel. Some of the edges may be true and some may be fake. So we have a threshold value, and when the strength of the edges passes the threshold value, then it's said to be a true edge. These are called strong edges and the others are called the weak edges. Next is the edge tracking by hysteresis. Strong edges are interpreted as certain edges and is included in the final edge image. Weak edges are included if and only if they are connected to the strong edges. The logic is, of course, that the noise and small variations won't be a strong image. Thus, strong edges will only be due to true edges in the original image. The weak edges can either be due to the true edges or the noise color variations. We use blob, which is binary large object, to detect the edges. The weak edges will be suppressed. Here there is an example of the Canny edge detector algorithm entire application. First is the original image, and then we smooth the image to filter out the high frequency noise. Then we find the gradient of magnitudes and direction, and then we apply non-maximum suppression on the edges. Then we use double thresholding, and the edges tracked by hysteresis. We get the final clear, sharp output of the edge detected image. Some advantages are that the finding of the errors is effective using the probability, and there is an improvement of signal with respect to noise ratio. It has a better detection of edges, and it's easy to implement. There is some disadvantages, which is there is an increase in the possibility to miss weak edges and appearance of isolated edge. The time consumption is high, and it's very sensitive to noise and detects fake edges. Now let's look at the code execution. Now we are looking at the code for the shape detector using Canny edge algorithm. It has 5 steps, as you can see. The first step reads the image. The second step converts it to the gray image from the RGB. The third step detects the edges using the Canny edge algorithm. The fourth and the fifth step has a dilation and erosion that is needed, that uses the parameters and is needed to give the final output. We have a for loop that represents the statistics and characteristics of the images that we want to detect, which is the circle, square, and the rectangle. Now let's run and see the program. This is the output. As you can see, We have the first original color image of the photo mask, the converted photo mask to the grayscale, the Canny Edge detected image of the photo mask, and then the dilated photo mask that has edges thicker, and then the eroded image. It has a window opening size of 5, and then we have the final image that is in gray, and we convert it to RGB to give the normal color output. As you can see, there is a circle on the circle output, and there is a cross on this rectangle and square. This means that these shapes have been detected from this image. This can be used to identify the flaws in the algorithm. Now let's go back to the presentation. I'm going to conclude that we have seen 3 different methods for shape recognition and evaluated them accordingly. We also found that the Canny Edge detector has more advantages than the others and is widely used. This method can be used in partial occlusions also. There are many other shape recognition techniques. The implementation of Canny Edge algorithm is shown in this project. These techniques can be implemented in the semiconductor industry to address their ever-growing problem of detecting faults in the IC fabrication process. By help of these, the faults can be detected at an earlier stage, quickly and easily rectified. We are concentrating on finding the rectangular shaped faults as they occur more and are hard to detect. It is also found that the application of shape recognition techniques to detect faults has resulted in an increase in yield and decrease in the defect level, because the IC, if needed, can be refabricated properly and carefully, thus avoiding big faults and a big loss to the company. There is some future scope to this project. The Canny Edge detector uses Gaussian filters, and it can be further extended to recursive filters. In the DSC, a number of DSC filters can be expanded and used in the context of distribution theory. The differential edge detector described is proposed as a reformulation of Canny Edge detector method from the viewpoint of differential invariants computed from a scale space representation, which leads to a great and more efficient performance in terms of both theoretical analysis and sub-pixel implementation of the method. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my professor, Mr. Dapang Wu, at University of Florida, for his guidance and extensive teaching that helped me complete the project successfully. I would also like to acknowledge the many authors and scholars whose works I have referenced to complete the required depth in the project. Without the help of my professor and the related works, I would not have been able to complete the project successfully on time. Thank you.